Disclaimer. If you got pissed off because of my thumbnail, then it worked. I'm sorry. You fell for it. Congratulations. Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 188. It is the last day of the week, aka the... what is this? The vampire killer workout. I'm on my way to the gym right now. I'm super tired, so I might do this a little shorty today because I am just exhausted. I don't know what it is about today, but I'm feeling it right now. The fatigue is setting in. I'm very excited about this weekend where I can just chill the fuck out. But anyways, to the main subject matter at hand, which I've already had a little bit of a discussion already, which is a little different than I normally do in these videos, and that is rage bait. Rage bait is all the rage on social media, or in general actually, even dating back into the echoes of the internet. The rage bait, the making people angry on purpose to see their reactions. It's funny because it's been happening for years now. Before, it was just a tactic to see how people would spurg out or, freak out over something, and just like with no real intentions. Now it's being used as a way to monetize things. And before I continue and actually get in depth at all the other stuff, because people, there's two sides of the coin: the people who engage in the rage bait, thus those who people may or may not have clicked on this video, and myself, who is engaging in the baiting that to rage. There are two sides of it. So because of that, I want to explain this side first, the me side, and then we'll discuss some of the other side to it, because I have been on both sides, so I get it. This side, I do not like doing this tactic as something that is generally viable. I feel like this is just something for this video to serve as a purpose. It's not necessarily going to be the bread and butter of how I build my brand, because that's how people do it nowadays. Unfortunately, they will prescribe themselves to only do things like this in order to bait out the rage people and just keep milking them for engagement. Because realistically, most social media platforms do not give a fuck about what you're saying or how you're saying it. They just want engagement. They want people to be on the platform for an extended amount of time. So whether it be Twitter, X, or Instagram, or YouTube, or whatever else that uses videos and or things that are monetizable, they will use tactics like saying simple things like what I probably have the thumbnails for this video, because yes, I'll have multiple thumbnails, so depending on which one you got will probably be the bait that YouTube decided would be the best that would work for you. So that one is up to YouTube, so it is what it is. The thing about it is that there are people who will take this tactic and do very well with it, and we'll go over a very, 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 very good example of this that happened on Twitter, I believe, at the end of last year. So we'll talk about that in a moment here. But for now, I want to say this on my end about something like this. I never want to do something like this again. I do not like doing this entire idea of rage bait, but the entire point of this video is to talk about it. But, in order to talk about it, you have to slightly engage in it, which is a slightly weird thing to say. But this is such a simple online concept. This isn't anything crazy. And I'm also not doing it it's not the only tactic that I'm doing to try to get traffic to my channel. I feel like this is asinine for those who try to continuously do something like this. It seems as though that is weak and very short-sighted, because although controversy creates clicks, can rub the certain people the very wrong way. And listen, I'm not necessarily against having differentiating opinions, but also at the same time, this is a stupid method to grow your platform on. I find it very frank and obvious when people are trying to go against the grain, really. And it's kind of like, all right, what are you telling me that isn't already said, or just straight up against the grain? There are some people that you can tell it's just try hard, and you're just like, that they're just trying to rile up in a response. That's really it. They don't necessarily even mean what they're saying, or if they do, they're really shit at arguing for it. So they really are people that are not creative in their own right and have to resort to these lizard brain tactics in order to get people to come watch their stuff or view their stuff or engage with their stuff. Engaging is the huge part, because realistically, rage bait is for the engagement, not necessarily what the argument is, because they could say anything, and what they really want is the engagement from the person, because they will try to tap into that lizard brain part and be like, and then just get the response without anybody even like paying attention to what's happening, like not give them any time of day to actually listen to what they're saying or reading what they're saying. They're going to take the headline and then take it from there. And a lot of people end up doing that, and it is successful in certain aspects. But like I said, it's a very cheap tactic, a very short-sighted tactic, because once you stop doing that, more realistically, you're just going to have people who hate you in the comments and just want to see your downfall. And that's not a good way to start things, you know, especially now in the internet age, where people won't let other people forget anything. You know, once it's on the internet, it's on there. So you got to be careful about stuff like that. So that's why I personally am not a huge fan of it, and that's why if I would ever were to switch over to something like this in the future for multiple videos or for a bunch of stuff like this, it would be seen as a cheap tactic that, one, I wouldn't be disgusted with myself for doing, and two, it seems like such a good idea for a short boost, but then afterwards, not a good idea. So this video will lead as an example of what I would probably never do. It's just like selling out is something that I hope to not do ever, but that will be a different story for a different day. But for now, before we get inside and we talk about the other side of the coin and maybe a little bit on this side and a few other things, and some examples too, some pretty good examples, I will say, sorry for getting you pissed off. I'll see you on the inside.
I just started this day off with neck curls, which were great. But anyways, back to the main subject matter here, really. Rage bait and how it sucks, because really, it actually works. And I think that is where I'll start, and then I'll go back a little bit. But it works. It works very, very, very well. You can see that a lot of people have gotten big using rage bait as their main tactic. Whether it be trolling or real rage bait, they try to do these methods in order to get people to feel some type of way, and thus they are invested in whatever the hell they have to say. And it sucks, because now you have people doing that as a shortcut in order to get more views and more people to come to their side of things. And it's quite frankly annoying, because now you have to deal with all of that and what that comes with. It is such a short-sighted method in order to get more views and things like that, because like I said before, once you get rid of the entire idea of rage bait, unless you are just doing rage bait the entire time, in which case that's fine, but also understand that the rage will get to you eventually, and then you'll just become a caricature of a person. But also as well, if you run out of things to rage about, realistically, people will just rage against you, really. And I think a lot of content creators don't realize that the audience that they cultivate are the people that are going to turn on them at a certain point. Not all the time. Obviously, there are some people that it doesn't happen to, but if you are going in with the idea of rage first, thus you're going to get more people that are going to be angry watching you in general. And they're going to be wanting to be angry about something in particular. And if there's nothing to be angry about and you're standing in the middle of the room, they're going to be angry at you. And I think a lot of people don't end up realizing that they are going to be that person or that thing that people will be angry about. It is one of those things that people don't realize, that the base response of people, the anger, the rage that people want to feel and express, wants to be outletted regardless of whether or not whatever they are raging for or raging against really is valuable and or worthy of getting rage in the first place. I think it is a base idea and a base knowledge of things that people don't realize will always be there, of course, but also is something that can easily control them. And if you are not one to be a controlling person as a content creator, you are going to be controlled by your audience a lot. And that goes for a lot of different other types of methods in order to get big on social media, but particularly for the rage stuff, you can really see it. Your audience controls you basically at a certain point or another. And that's the other thing too, being an audience member. I have engaged and indulged in a few things that are rage bait like, and I can say that I get it. Once I got, I'm like, okay, I got. Good on you. Congratulations, you got me. But I instantly know and see this person for what they are as soon as I see that, and instantly click off and or go somewhere else. I know exactly what it's like. I get it. I'm like, all right, you've got me. And then I move on, because I know that it's like I had a lapse of judgment, a momentary, oh, fuck, anger. And then all of a sudden I realize, oh, it's kind of useless to be like this, because they're trying to get me to engage, realistically, from these thumbnails that I've done, because I probably did 3 thumbnails for this video. Congratulations, whichever one you clicked on was the one that got you angry and or just generally curious about what I was going to be talking about in this video. That's the entire point, really, is that YouTube select which of the 3 thumbnails I would use in order to get you to click on the video. This is partly due to YouTube, this is partly due to me. At a certain point, there will be just one thumbnail for this video because these multiple thumbnail things only last for like a month or 2, I think. But after that, it will be just one, and that is the one that raged the most people. Just know that at a certain point, you'll see, oh, this thumbnail got a bunch of people angry. And I don't know exactly which one it will be, but I'll have one of the 3. I'll actually have probably all 3 in the video so you can see them, and you can figure out which one of these 3 you ended up getting. If you got multiple, that's very interesting, because YouTube will be the one that throws that out there for you. Now, the reason why I wanted to add this, I wanted to talk about this as well. It can be very lucrative if you are doing something like rage bait, especially if you are doing it something like on a platform like X, or aka Twitter. Because there are people like, or that one guy who was trolling using an artist's old photo that he never finished and used AI to finish it, and the amount of engagement that that guy got from that one post is ludicrous. I mean, probably made like $10,000 to $15,000 off of one post. So I can't even be that truly mad at it. Because I mean, it works. People were pissed off, and he knew it was gonna do with the numbers, but the numbers made a paycheck, and that's the main part of it that really bothers some of the people. If you see something that makes you rage and or you don't like it, just go away from it. They're doing it on purpose. They're making sure you get angry so you can click or do whatever the fuck you want to engage into whatever they're trying to sell you, and then thus you give them money. It's simple as that. So the next time you see rage bait, just think of it as panhandling. Panhandling for engagement to boost the algorithm so more people can see their shit, and thus continuing the cycle of baiting people to rage out.
You know, I just think your favorite content creator sucks. Said the most boring person ever. And we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed. None. Exercises skipped. Also none. Got everything in, surprisingly. Thank God. It was a little bit worrisome for a couple of them there, but I got everything in. I'm pretty tired, but on the way home now, so it is what it is. So back to the main subject matter. I guess at this point, I don't want to go harp on too many points that I've probably harped on before, but I'll say this about this entire subject, rage bait. If you are somebody who produces rage bait for monetary purposes, not for trolling purposes. For trolling purposes, it's funny, but even then, you're kind of a dickhead, but I kind of get it. If you're trying to do rage bait in order to monetize from it, come on, bro, get the fuck out of here, all right? Get better at creative stuff. Get better with your thoughts and your ideas, because realistically, your rage bait sucks, and all it is going to be a downhill spiral. Nobody's going to like you after a while, and you're just going to be left with a bunch of hate watchers, because the internet loves hating on things. So you just might as well get out the game early before it consumes you and it's too late, and then you fucked yourself, and then nobody gives a fuck about you, and then 5 years later you try to return, and then everybody comes in with the evidence of you being a dumbass, and all of a sudden, well, you're just fucked now. So don't even try to go down that path. And if you are on the opposite end of the spectrum, where you are a consumer, where everything gets you riled up the moment that your jimmies are touched, chill the fuck out, all right? Everybody on the internet is trying to get a reaction from you. You are easily controlled by your lizard brain. Start thinking about the shit that you're doing in your life. Maybe you should start having some self-control, some self-reflection. Maybe look deep inside and say, why do these people have this control over me? I wonder what I should be doing differently so that way they could stop having control over me. Maybe I shouldn't let my feelings take control over me. Oh, but sir, but Mr. Oscar, I have to express my emotions. Yes, expressing them in a controlled way is still controlling them. You're still in power of them. Letting them go and letting them control you and your lizard self is only gonna fuck you and make it so you end up doing dumb shit because, oh, my emotions. fuck out of here. Stop, breathe, and think, hey, is this person trying to fuck me right now? Are they trying to just get a reaction from me because they know they can? Oh, they are. Okay, never mind then. Simple as that. And it's not even too hard. Just stop, think, and look. Do some deductive reasoning. Maybe you haven't done that before, but do some. Just look around and see, oh, this person likes to do this on the internet. They like to troll around. Look at that. Oh my God. These people like to do X or Y or Z. So just watch out and pay attention to what's happening, because then that way maybe you'll have you'll have a thought of, oh, they're just fucking with me. Let me not respond to this and go the fuck away. This tactic of rage bait doesn't only apply to content creators, but as well other sources like media and stuff. So it is what it is. That's a whole other subject for a whole other day, for a whole other period. But with that being said, tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this one. This one's more of a interesting one. It's always interesting, but not really. Well, actually, this one is. But it's always an interesting one. So I'm very curious to hear your reactions about this. If you've ever been baited into reacting to something that in reality doesn't really have a real, like, it had no say. The person you could tell was bullshitting, you know, something like that, where you got basically. I would love to know. And if you were a go-getter, what was the craziest reaction you've had to one of these things? Because that is something to see very interestingly. The lizard brain attack on somebody that will not actually think about what is being said and only react instead of processing, understanding, and trying to deduce what's actually happening. I'm very curious to hear about that, if that's ever happened to anybody listening to this. But thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like this one. This one is probably not going to be liked by a lot of people, but who cares? Stay safe out there, stay warm out there, keep it heavy, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!